Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding a hearing on this important program. I thank the witnesses today and to the first responders in the audience who, for their bravery and service both on and after the tragic day of 9/11. Thank you for coming today to share your personal experiences, the committee, and shed light on the significance of the World Trade Center health programs. No one here can forget the horrific attacks perpetrated upon our country at the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon in Washington, and at the field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. During and after the attacks, tens of thousands of first responders, including police, firefighters, emergency medical workers, jumped into action to assist in rescue, recovery, and cleanup. As a result of their service, these responders were exposed to dust, smoke, toxins such as pulverized concrete, fibrosis glass, particulate matter, and asbestos. This exposure caused many of them to develop a spectrum of debilitating diseases, including respiratory disorders like asthma, skin, prostate, and lymphedema cancers. A GAO report on the 9/11 health program suggested that firefighters who responded to the attack, quote, experienced a decline in lung function equivalent to that of which produced by 12 years of aging. In addition to the physical ailments these heroes now have, many have suffered post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD, depression, anxiety stemming from psychological trauma they experienced in the aftermath of the attack. Nearly 1 decade after the September 11th terrorist attacks, the James Zadroga 9/11 Health and Compensation Act was signed into law in 2010. The Zadroga Act created the World Trade Center health program within the Department of Health and Human Services. The program provided evaluation, monitoring, and medical necessary physical and mental health treatments to first responders and certified eligible survivors of the World Trade Center-related illnesses. It's also established a network of clinical centers of excellence and data centers. For these responders and survivors who reside outside the New York area, the Act created a national network of health providers who provide the same types of services for World Trade Center-related illnesses. While cancer was not originally listed among the statutory WTC-related health conditions, 60 types of cancer were added in 2012 after a petition by members of Congress. As of May the 5th of this year, 3,700 members of the health program had cancer. The Act also established a Victims' Compensation Fund that provides compensation for harm suffered as a result of debris removal. Without action by Congress, funding for the current health program will terminate on September of 2016. The James Zadroga 9/11 Health and Compensation Reauthorization will reauthorize the critical World Trade Center health program and the Victims' Compensation Fund. As required under the current program, New York City will continue to pay 10% of the total cost. It's important to note that the WTC health program serves our heroes nationwide and extends far beyond New York area. Both these and currently enrolled and future enrollees live in all areas of the country. In fact, as of August 2014, 429 of the 435 congressional districts were home to at least one 9/11 responder or survivor. We must not abandon those who were bravely sacrificed their own well-being in behalf of the country in the wake of terrible attacks. We have a duty to serve our first responders and survivors and heroes with complex health care from 9/11. It's critically important that we support the James Zadroga 9/11 Health Compensation Reauthorization Act. I'd like to thank the first responders for their gallant and selfless service on and after 9/11. I'd also like to thank the doctors and administrators of the program for their efforts to treat the complex illnesses afflicted on our first responders and continue research on the impact of exposure to toxins and psychological trauma. Mr. Chairman, if someone on our side of the aisle would like a minute, I'd be glad to yield to them. I'd like to yield to my colleague from New York.